Hey guys, what's going on? This is Clay with the Pennsylvania Roller Coaster Club, coming at you on this beautiful sunny Sunday Pennsylvania morning. And I wanted to take a couple minutes to talk about the recently announced intentions of merger between Cedar Fair and Six Flags. So, first off, guys, this has not actually taken place yet. This is just the announcement that there is intentions to have this completed at some point next year. So, these two companies are not one quite yet, but I do want to take a couple minutes and throw a couple key facts for people to help them understand what is going on. So, number one, we are in a timeline. There is a looming recession. Significant debt comes with inevitable asset sale. So, essentially, these guys have secured a bridge loan. And what I mean by bridge loan is just basically short-term financing. And short-term financing for a business until they are able to secure more long-term financing, typically secured by collateral in some capacity. So this is very commonplace in mergers and acquisitions, that there is some type of short-term bridge loan financing that's set up, and it can be used to not just secure permanent financing, but to be able to remove an existing obligation. So it doesn't necessarily always have to be used in the application of a common stock buyout. It can be used to remove other obligations or stipulations within a business deal. So that's an interesting little tidbit as well. But basically, a few days ago, Six Flags Entertainment Corp lined up $3.1 billion of debt financing to back its all-stock merger with the Cedar Fair Corp. That included $2.3 billion in a 364-day term loan provided by Goldman Sachs. And when I read that, that is why immediately, poof, well, there you go, it's a bridge loan. So, for the folks that are talking about, well, this is a merger, so it's not one company buying another, and there's not going to be a ton of debt. No, that's not how this works at all. Yes, there is debt, because just because one company hasn't won and isn't buying the other, there's still only going to be one company remaining at the end of the day. And the process of being able to put those two business units together, just imagine the amount of things that have to be changed in part for marketing materials. And now, remember, before it even gets to that stage, there are tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of legal fees that are going to have to go into play. A lot of money goes into rebranding an entire business. It's astronomical, to be perfectly blunt with you. So, if these guys do pull this off, as you see on the map, they are going to be chock full with locations all over the country. There is the recession that's pending. It's what's forcing these guys to make this move to begin with. So keep in mind that if the due diligence is not completed on this deal, and when I say due diligence, I mean the auditing process that they're going to be starting here over the coming months, heading up to the beginning of June. If it's not complete and they're not able to execute this stock buyout by the time that this short-term financing or this bridge loan is available to them, it could torpedo the entire deal. Furthermore, let's say that they are not able to secure long-term financing. They could self-torpedo the deal to not put themselves at risk of not securing said financing long-term. So, a lot to take in here, but separate yourself from the thought that just because one company is not per se buying the other one, that one company is not buying the other one, because that's really what's happening. Both companies are surviving in the form of one company, but one company still has to buy the other. And there has to be a rollover of debt. There has to be a rollover of assets and liabilities from both companies merged into one balance sheet. That is what the financing is for. That is why there will be significant debt moving forward. And with the significant debt moving forward, very critical to understand, the easiest way to get a quick injection of capital into a business is through the sale of assets. So guys, that is why you are not going to see Cedar Fair or Six Flags remove any parks out of their portfolio prior to the closing of the merger, is because they want to have as many assets listed on that merger as possible. That way, whenever they need an injection of capital, they can start to go to some of the parks that do not fit the priority list for the new organization. And when I say priority list, I mean places that are not absolute year after year guaranteed winners. Your Cedar Points, your Magic Mountains, the places that any operator on planet Earth would feel fortunate to own. Those are the parks that are going to be getting the priority. The parks that can be turned into year-round destinations. Those Texas parks are going to get a huge insertion of capital. And that's just going to be how it is. Your smaller parks are probably going to be pieced off one by one, maybe two at a time. And how does Frontier City and Darien Lake, those types of locations, the ones that Six Flags doesn't own, but they manage and operate, do those parks still even fit into the portfolio anymore? I don't think we're really sure about that, but guys, one thing I am sure of, if this does finalize, and if it goes through, beyond a shadow of a doubt, within a handful of years, you will see your first park sold out of the portfolio. And I would say in the first 5 years, you will see a minimum of 2 to 3 parks out of the portfolio sold. And I truly do mean at a minimum. So, I could be wrong, but the numbers, they don't lie. In dealing with forensic accounting, the numbers take you down a certain road, and there's really only a couple ways that it can go. One of them is these two companies go out of business. The other is this. So I hope this helps a little bit. If you have any questions, you can comment below. For what it's worth, I actually am a licensed and registered FSCP, Financial Services Certified Professional. So I do have a pretty decent understanding of how this stuff works. So yeah, if you have any questions, hit me up below, and we will see you guys next time.